members of the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs, the sport company, special advisor to the Minister of Sport, Mr. Carol Keller, coaches, administrators, fans, football lovers, Mr. Jamal Shabazz, one of the most successful coaches in the Caribbean right now, and we give him a round of applause for his performance. While he knocks us out, we must respect the work that he has done under trying circumstances, and this is what today is about. Members of the media, good morning. Let me try that again like we're hungry. Good morning. Out of every nightmare, you must wake up. And we, in Trinidad and Tobago and our football, we are in a nightmare. Nothing is wrong with that. We can admit it first and foremost so that we can find a solution. As sure as night follows day, we will come out of this nightmare with all hands on deck, with as much information and input from all stakeholders to come up with a plan that will carry football from the mother's womb straight up to international qualification, World Cup qualification, where we will not be having to call upon the deities and the gods and the supreme being to bless us as we go to altitude at 2,200 meters to play Mexico and hope that we don't get sick. We will be in a position for the foreseeable future and for generations to come to become a world powerhouse. Football is the #1 sport in the world. It's a beautiful game, and we have done it well over the years. However, we have hit rock bottom, and it is time for us all to stop talking, to get together, put our brains together, and come up with a sustainable plan with, as you would understand, your Ministry of Sport and your government taking the lead, not to interfere, because we understand the FIFA rules and TNTFF, and we are not here to interfere in the autonomy of any organization, whether it be the TTFF, the TT Pro League, the Colleges Football League Committee, whatever organization, the referees, coaches, everybody has their autonomy, and we absolutely respect that. But somebody has to take the lead to pull all the brains together. And so that is why this consultation has been called. We are all depressed. We're now getting over the tabanka, but we must think positively and plan for the future. We will listen to each and every presentation, and we also ask for those who have presentations that have not been handed in documented form, please do so that we could collate the all the information, provide a document and a plan with timelines going forward. Already the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs is undertaking to find through its development. Remember, the National Sport Policy is quite specific. The Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs has two major objectives. The first one is total participation in sport, and the second one is high performance sport. With regards to football, we are moving ahead on the total participation, as the sport company has already started work on 7 recreational grounds. Within the next 3 weeks, they will begin another 15, and by April, another 30. So within 1 year, we should have upgraded at least 65 recreational grounds across Trinidad and Tobago. Some of these will be handed over to TT Pro League teams to get that football back into the communities so that they could continue to develop their league and search for talent. Yes, we had a few hiccups at the sport company, but I prefer to do things right than to do it wrong and fast. Those hiccups have been dealt with, and any future hiccups will be dealt with, whether people want to call it political interference or what. I understand my responsibility to protect taxpayers' dollars and to get value for money, and I will not shirk that responsibility for political expedience or to please anybody. We have an awesome responsibility to ensure that when we get $1 for sport, and in this case football, that it is spent properly, because every time I argue for $1, it takes away $1 from a pension program, a hospital bed, medical MRI machines, CAT scans, roads, bridges, drains, and you know that we need a lot of work on our drainage right now. So we in sport cannot continue to waste money. We cannot continue to provide the Ministry of Sport and the sport company with fraudulent inflated budgets so that we can pocket the change after. That will not be going on. We have another federation who shortly you will see will also be banned from 1 year from funding from the ministry because of providing fraudulent information and trying to hide funds. Remember, national sporting organizations are not companies. You are not there to earn money. Well, in TTFF, that's a special case. They are a registered company. But generally, the sporting NSOs are non-profit organizations. So boasting that you have $5.9 million in the bank and then come in for taxpayers' dollars to $4 and $5 million is not on. Spend your money on the children, spend your money on the coaches, spend your money on education, sports science, so that we can uplift, identify our talent and get our children to perform at the highest level. By doing that, our country will benefit, whether it is football, cricket, swimming, archery, shooting, whatever the sport. This is what today is about, and I want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to come out, for taking the time to put your money where your mouth is, to put your words down on paper, to come and be part of the solution. Trinidad and Tobago has the potential to be a powerhouse of world football. We have created greats since time immemorial. Whether they played professional or they played in our leagues, we have to get the crowds back. Our fans have become too complacent and only support football when we are winning. Yes, we accept some of that blame because we must put a great product out. However, the TT Pro League has been putting out a great product for some years, but our citizens don't go to see it and then they form an opinion on it. It reminded me when I was on the radio and a gentleman called me and I was talking about TT Pro League football, and he said, "Anil, I was making the comparison that I was looking at ESPN and I was seeing Scunthorpe playing some Cardiff or somebody in a Premiership, a second division English league, and the football was horrific." And I was making the point that right there in Trinidad and Tobago, you could see Defence Force playing W Connection, Northeast Stars playing Caledonia, and see much higher quality football than that. And somebody called me and said, "Anil, you're talking stupidness. The TT Pro League football is rubbish." Well, you know, on the radio, you have to try to engage. So I said, well, all right. I have seen, for that year, I think it was 2007, I say I have been to about 18 games. Tell me one game that you went to see, and that hopefully I went to see, whether it was in the Atta Boulder, the Maniram John, wherever the game was, so that we could discuss and I could hear your opinion, because two people might see something and come up with totally different conclusions about what went on. Lo and behold, the gentleman caller said, "What game? I ain't go to none." So here it is, he had not seen a game, but he was firm in his opinion, so firm and strong and sure that he would call a national radio station and berate the football, and he had not seen a single game. This is a serious problem. So we need to get together. We have the Colleges Football League. Some people have said, and I am of the opinion that it's too short. But then we have to consult with the teachers because they are student athletes and they believe if we play too much football, we will not be too bright. Having been a former swimmer and a former footballer, not as good as some of you all here, but going to university on scholarship, we were quite able to balance a hectic academic schedule, come out with a 4.0 grade point average, and play football